flagging down a YouTuber's channel because they can't handle a little bit of criticism. And y'all know how much I love people who false flag videos. It's one of my favorite things to talk about because the kind of people who are so sensitive that they can't handle criticism and will resort to false flagging videos because they can't handle a little bit of criticism and a little bit of memes headed in their direction. They want to be these famous e-celebs or whatever, but they can't handle people poking a little fun at their expense. These kind of people piss me off more than anything. And so we're going to go ahead and talk about that. But before we get into that, let me go ahead and give you guys a little bit of backstory. Some of you guys may remember a while back, not too long ago, I did a video on this guy, A-Thoughts, who happens to be a channel that I really enjoy watching and whatnot. But we were talking about this guy's channel because he was at risk of being terminated. He had several strikes against his channel. Several videos have been flagged down. Looked like YouTube was potentially shadow banning him. There were a ton of horrible things that were happening to this guy's channel. And I reported on it, and he had notified me. We had a private conversation. He was on Twitter. He was telling me about all the messed up things that were happening to his channel. Thumbnails getting flagged down for ridiculous reasons. People flagging down his videos because they can't handle criticism. One of those people being a Twitch streamer named Nick Mertz. And we'll get into that in a second. But his channel is at risk of termination. I believe he has 2 strikes against his channel at the moment. And so if he gets a 3rd strike, he's in a lot of trouble. He went as far as to delete pretty much all the content on his channel because he didn't want to risk getting terminated for the type of videos he did, because he did a lot of videos where, like, you know, he's giving criticism to people, but he does it in kind of a comedic manner, and you got worried, like, oh crap, apparently this kind of stuff isn't allowed on YouTube anymore, so I better stop doing this stuff. So he, not private it, but they are deleting all the videos on his channel, and he's like, I can't afford to lose this channel right now. He can't upload or anything like that. His channel is like that restricted at the moment. He can't really do anything with it. He started uploading videos to his 2nd channel, Stud Gaming Athlete, so you guys can sub to it there if you want. Even sub to this channel if you want to, because eventually I'm sure he'll come back to this channel. But having said that, he was at risk of losing this channel. For those of you guys who don't know, he actually posted a video where he talked about this situation on his 2nd channel, talked about how he was at risk of losing his channel for good, the termination and all that stuff. And we went as far as to reveal something that a lot of people who are longtime viewers of him already knew. He talks about how, you know, he suffers from a rare form of cancer. He can't work because of his health conditions and stuff like that. So his sole source of income these days is his YouTube channel. That's how he makes his money. So when I saw this Twitch streamer here, Nick Mertz, I saw clips on Twitter of him literally bragging about having this person lose their sole source of income. We're talking about a cancer patient, someone with cancer. Their only source of income is their YouTube channel that they use to provide for their family. And this piece of shit right here, keep in mind, I actually like Nick Mertz. He is wrong.
I find a beautiful beach that I'm just going to start developing my town on. No problem. With everything together, now it's time to build a castle and... Oh, we're out of money. Okay, we're going to find money somehow. There's some money in here, but... Oh, you don't see anything? We're just a bunch of barrels. Nothing to see here. Right, now I spotted these houses earlier. There's gold literally falling out of them, so it's ours. They want us to...
I watch some of his streams sometimes, but when I saw this, I had to call this motherfucker out. He is literally bragging about getting rid of a cancer patient's sole source of income. Don't believe me? I'm going to show you guys the clip that showed up in my Twitter feed. This was a clip that was posted by The Quartering, and he says, multi-millionaire Nick Mertz gets so personally offended by, in his words, an irrelevant YouTuber who gets no views, making fun of his thumbnails. He took his entire channel down and is proud about it. This is some seriously soft shit, man, and you should be ashamed. Now, the channel didn't get taken down, as we saw a second ago. The channel's still available, but it's pretty much crippled at this point. He can't upload, and it's at risk of termination if it gets another strike. But the channel's still in pretty bad shape. And I want to play this clip for you guys, so you can see the goal of this piece of shit literally bragging about, almost getting a cancer patient's sole source of income terminated. So he couldn't make any money to provide for his family to pay for his medical expenses or anything like that. Like, I can't begin to tell you guys how literally livid I am about this situation. Very rarely do I cover a situation where, like, obviously I care about the topics I talk about, but very rarely am I as pissed the fuck off as I am with this topic. Anyway, kind of going on a ramble here for a second. Let me go ahead and roll this fucking clip for you guys. I had some motherfucking 40-year-old bald idiot fuck talking about my thumbnails and shit. Nick Merck's thumbnails. He's an old Call of Duty idiot. The guy's been in the scene for like 20 years. He's still around, right? And he just hates everybody now because his channel sucks and gets no fucking views. I had him off my fucking ass too. So we took his channel down, as we should. Wow, what an absolute dipshit. What an absolute fucking piece of shit. Bragging about, oh, I couldn't handle some criticism against the thumbnails on my fucking videos, so I went out of my way to flag this dude's channel down because I can't handle fucking criticism. You want it to be an e-celeb where the entire fucking world has all eyes on you, but you can't handle the fact that somebody made a few jokes at your expense about your thumbnails? Which, by the way, we'll get to the thumbnails in a second here. I have some thoughts on these fucking thumbnails too. But holy shit, dude. You are literally gloating about the fact that you almost made a man with cancer lose his sole source of income. How much of a slimy fuck do you have to be to brag about something like that? But it gets worse. It gets fucking worse, because remember that video a second ago that I told you where he talks about how, this is his sole source of income and he has a rare form of cancer. This is how he provides for his, medical expenses and his family and shit like that. Nick Merckx fucking saw that video. Because I somehow missed this one. It's Easter Sunday, so I'm busy doing other things today. But 8 Thoughts found another clip of Nick Merckx talking about this on his stream. And this one is far more damning than the last. So let's see what 8 Thoughts has to say here. This guy, I don't make content about Pokimane. I don't make content about Tim the Tatman. I made one video about you and your thumbnails. You're a clown, Nick Merckx. You're trying to justify being a beta male. No YouTuber or person worth anything advocates for striking videos. And he's right. It's literally one of the worst things you can do as a content creator, is strike videos. Especially because you're some pussy-ass bitch who can't handle criticism. Let's see what he had to say in this fucking clip. Because I went through my own one with the bald idiot fuck, right? And this motherfucker, he went on, he made another YouTube video. Oh, this is my only source of income. My wife lost her job due to this. Are you fucking kidding me? No one's gonna sympathize to you. You literally make content. It's hate content. All your content. Every other video is Pokimane to this, Pokimane to that, Nick Merckx to that, Nick Merckx to this, Tim to that. Nobody feels bad for you at that point. You get what you deserve. Grandma taught us that, right? Coming out, man. It fucking said, listen, be treated. If you're getting on the internet and everything and you're being a fucking asshole, because some people don't play your games, man. Some people, you fucking bite them and it's fucking over, and it's done. Yeah, I'm even so ramped up about this stuff, and it bothers me so much that I'm even to the point where, I would help Swag. If Swag took a legal, oh boy, imagine being a multi-millionaire off of the back of Twitch money and literally crying and bitching about someone who made fun of your thumbnails, but also going as far as to claim that they made videos about other people that they literally never made videos about. You got so butthurt about this dude making fun of your thumbnails that you went out like a bitch and false flagged his fucking videos. What a piece of shit. And if that wasn't bad enough, you referenced that you saw his video where he talked about how this was his sole source of income. The same video where he mentioned that he had a rare form of cancer, which is why he can't work a normal job and he has to do this YouTube stuff. And you are on your platform, your massive fucking platform, while your stupid fucking fans simp for you in the fucking chat, basically laughing about all the stupid shit you're saying. And you're literally bragging about making this guy lose his only source of income. How much of a slimy fuck do you have to be to do that? I was so pissed off when I saw this. I had to say something about it. I tweeted out, imagine bragging about flagging down the sole source of it. All of the
modeling techniques learned in the business analytics program online at Grand Canyon University, you can bring transformative insights to leadership. Data drives innovation in today's world. Data analysts provide efficiencies to help reach more customers more often. What do you think business analytics looks like? GCU offers over 175 high-quality online programs like this one. Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Visit gcu.edu.
Income of 8 Thoughts, that's 8 Thoughts ad. A man with cancer, what a piece of shit Nick Merckx is. Also saw this tweet by Optimus. Nick Merckx insinuating that he was part of a campaign to attack 8 Thoughts channel over a thumbnail video made on him. Appears to have made a baldness joke, reading chat, and this is especially shitty considering that man, 8 Thoughts, has a rare form of cancer. Absolutely insane. I want to talk about these thumbnails for a second here. These thumbnails that you're so fucking sensitive about, they are fucking cringy. These look like the kind of thumbnails that some kid who's trying to be the next ninja would make. Fucking like cringy fucking faces and shit like that. I can't believe, like, the funny thing about this is you don't even make these thumbnails yourself. You hire someone else to do it, and you're ass mad that someone else's work is getting criticized. By the way, whoever you're paying to do these thumbnails, they're trash. They literally are. If you're gonna get that fucking butthurt about someone talking about your goddamn thumbnails, what a piece of shit. Literally, you are a slimy, disgusting piece of shit who thinks that it's funny and you're the big man on campus just because you can go around and flag down somebody's videos because you're a bitch who can't handle fucking criticism. Absolutely fucking unbelievable. So to wrap this up, what are my thoughts on this situation? It's quite simple. Nick Merckx is a fucking scumbag. He thinks it's funny as hell that he couldn't handle criticism about some shitty fucking thumbnails on his YouTube channel, and he decided it was a bright fucking idea to flag down the channel, almost make someone lose their income because he can't handle criticism. Someone who has cancer, who has a family to support, who can't work a job because of his health condition, you think it's funny that you almost terminated his channel because you're a little bitch. Absolutely unbelievable. I know I got a little bit heated in this video, and I apologize for that, but I can't stand to see this kind of shit. This is the most deplorable shit that any content creator can do to another content creator. If it really bothered you that much, why not make an effort to reach out to 8 Thoughts and be like, hey man, I really don't appreciate that video. Could you take that video down, or something? Even that's a little bit cringy, but to try and flag down someone's sole source of income and then mock them. The fact that they talked about it was their sole source of income, how they provide for their family, talk about how multi-millionaire you doesn't give a fuck. Of course you don't give a fuck. You can lose your platforms tomorrow and you'd still be a millionaire. But this guy's working his ass off on his content to try and make ends meet, and a piece of shit millionaire like you was just like, oh, fuck this guy. He made fun of my thumbnails. What a fucking pussy. But at the end of the day, those are just my opinions. What do you guys think about this whole situation? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'd always like to hear what you guys have to say. But anyway, guys, this is Tipster here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And by the way, Nick Merckx, fuck you, bitch.
recommended daily line.
Hey, V, about to start. You, want to take a piss or something? Now's the time.
Thanks for your opinion.
Take a look at my legendary heroes. How's that? What? You so many legendary heroes. And to give you heroes, can't forget legendary heroes.
The Rising of the Shield Hero comments on heroism a lot, whether it's understanding a hero's values such as mercy, or simply showing us how people who don't uphold their duty are unworthy of the title by having an OP badass put them in their rightful place. But never before has it asked the question, how far is a hero willing to go to carry out their mission? And in carrying out a mission of death, how can one maintain their morality? One would assume a hero would do anything, including sacrificing themselves. Thus is their nature. But will a hero, in order to complete their mission, kill other heroes that are simply doing their duty? Enter Lonewolfshinobi, literal holder of death's weapon, the Scythe Hero. An OP badass character, where OP stands for Original Pal. Because he'll definitely be your buddy. But before diving into the ethics of honor, hero versus hero, and answering the question why he's against Naofumi, let's first explore Lonewolf's character in greater detail. And yes, mama spoilers ahead for Best Bro. Lonewolf is a king of a small country that Kazuna the hunting hero hails from. But despite sitting on a throne, he has a very carefree personality. Clearly. And prefers the freedom to travel and adventure. This does not mean, however, that he shies away from duty, and on the contrary, has very strong morals and is a good judge of people's characters. He's determined to save his world, but doesn't want to hurt anyone irrelevant to his mission. He likes Naofumi. I mean, who wouldn't? He's awesome, and doesn't believe that he is the demonic shield hero with evil friends in high places, since his character doesn't fit these false rumors. He even worries when Naofumi is out late adventuring. Aw, what a caring mom. So, if he likes Naofumi so much, why is he against him? Why does he find it his mission to kill Naofumi? Well, he's actually just doing his duty as the wielder of the vassal scythe, and is one of the heroes charged with protecting the world beyond the waves. This is also the same world Glass is from. Yet another person seeking to kill Naofumi to protect their own. Since Lonewolf does fight closely with her and his party, I guess I should explain Glass a bit. You can watch my full explanation of Glass here, but this original OP badass bitch first entered the world of the four cardinal heroes in a desperate attempt to save her world. If she could kill the four legendary heroes, she could stop her world from merging with the one Naofumi protects, and ultimately being destroyed. Given this impossible situation, how can Lonewolf not see Naofumi as someone he must defeat? Lonewolf's character must answer the question, how far are you willing to go to fulfill your duty? Or, in other words,
you do something morally impermissible to achieve something good. A sort of do the ends justify the means. And this can actually be understood best through a simple ethics exercise. Let's work out. Would you steal bread to feed your family? Stealing is morally wrong, yet you have a moral obligation to feed your loved ones. This ethical problem presents a clash of deontological versus utilitarianism ethics, where deontology states the morality of a decision is based solely on one's duty and obligation to perform it, i.e. feeding your family, versus utilitarian, which holds the morality of a decision is based solely on the outcome which will benefit the most people, i.e. not breaking the law. Utilitarian ethics fall short sometimes because it's all about benefiting the most people, but it doesn't focus on the individual or to what extent people are benefiting. Most people would argue that while stealing is wrong, the consequences of not taking this immoral action are by far worse. The ends justify the means, or stealing bread is a lesser evil than letting your family starve to death. And while less people benefit, one person breaking the law is less of a consequence to the masses than a family of their neighbors dying. And the same is true with La'ark. Killing an adventurer is undoubtedly wrong, but if it means saving your world, the ends certainly justify the means.
A small price to pay for salvation.
But La'ark isn't just targeting a random person. He's targeting Naofumi and the other Cardinal Heroes. This changes things. Take our ethical problem of stealing bread. For La'ark Bird, it now becomes, would you steal bread to feed your family, knowing full well that if you do, the baker and his family will starve? Now, no matter what option you pick, stealing or not stealing, someone's family dies. Either you violate your moral obligation, or you choose to commit an immoral act. If La'ark kills Naofumi, he honors his moral obligation to his world that he's sworn to protect as a hero, yet dooms Naofumi's world and robs them of their hero and protectorate. He also robs them of bread, cause Naofumi a fucking snack. On the other hand, if La'ark shows an altruistic moral sympathy towards Naofumi's world by not assassinating their bread, he neglects his own world and his duty as the scythe hero. Comment below, what would you do? I wrote the script for this video, and I'm conflicted about what option I would pick. There is, however, a way to go about this in a morally upstanding manner, and it goes back to deontological versus utilitarianism ethics. Here, utilitarianism has no clear choice. One of two worlds, Naofumi's or La'ark's, is doomed, which is why the right or moral choice here is to accept that one of the worlds will die and carry out one's obligations under the principles of deontology and duty. You may have questioned why La'ark remained friendly to Naofumi even when trying to kill him. After all, Glass didn't give two craps about him, and this really highlights the main difference between their two characters. Honor. And that sacred brotherhood between best drinking bros. Naofumi the shut-in otaku, more like the fraternity party chair, turn up with the shield. Obviously, these two facile heroes are pretty OP. Glass survived Naofumi's Iron Maiden and flew away a wave boss like it was nothing, and La'ark Bird just became best girl with a simple smile. But only one of them considered the moral implications of their actions. La'ark takes killing very seriously, and only wants to target the heroes to fulfill his mission. This is why he leaves Raphtalia and the other adventurers alone, and only focuses on the death that is absolutely necessary to save his world. If you recall, Glass was not so meticulous and reserved in her pursuits, and didn't care about absolutely wasting the other adventurers aboard the ghost ship while confronting Naofumi. This also explains why later, La'ark only targeted Naofumi as part of his mission to defeat the four Cardinal Heroes, since he didn't believe the other three of Ren, Mitsuki, and Motoyasu were indeed the other three heroes. He read them for their characters, and found them quite lacking in heroics. And this is how you preserve your moral integrity while fulfilling a mission with moral implications. You stay loyal to your mission while accepting that the morality of your duty is a matter of perspective. La'ark's duel with Naofumi is like all duels of the past, an honorable engagement between two men who respect each other, yet must both defend their own interests and worlds till the end. Multiple times during a fight, La'ark notes how it pains him to fight Naofumi, that he truly has nothing against him, yet he must continue with his mission, and encourages Naofumi to accept their situation and fight like good friends. Best bros. Lark is also not above realizing that his duty is sometimes inferior to other circumstances, and can definitely put aside his differences with Naofumi to face greater threats to his world. Later, instead of selfishly chasing Naofumi and the 3 other heroes through the wave, Lark decides to stay in his world to confront Kyo, the wielder of the Vassal Book, who neglected his heroic duty and instead sought to rule over all the worlds. If Lark didn't think Naofumi capable enough, he certainly respects him after witnessing Naofumi's triumph against the Spirit Tortoise, of which Kyo was the mastermind. After deeming him truly capable and realizing their common goal, Lark and Naofumi team up in an epic alliance to defeat Kyo, and probably a wild night of partying. And it's this combination of devotion to duty, respect for your fellow man, and surrender of one's ego that makes Lark a truly honorable opponent and absolute best bro to Naofumi. As always, thanks for watching. What do you guys think? Did Lark do the right thing? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to join Lark Phi Epsilon, be best bros with Naofumi, and party it up until we defeat the waves, pledge below by subscribing. And keep it tuned to Truth Hero for more Rising of the Shield Hero content.
Internet connection error in the video game. I don't know what it is about modern game releases that everybody releases in a very poor state, as if nobody is testing it at all. Yet, the latest in this long saga of disaster releases like Anthem, like Fallout 76, like Cyberpunk, nobody learns from the last one. Nobody. This game is constant. The servers are constantly crashed. Server woes are ridiculous. Motherfucker! And is it Square Enix's fault not spinning up enough servers for them? Is it Can People Fly's fault with a bunch of bugs and communication and handshake errors? There are some handshake errors. I'm getting constant crashes. I'm getting constant server kicks. In the middle where we're about to beat a boss, server kick.
Choose this week, this one. What the fuck? It's got full fucking out again.
Yeah, one of them's healing him.
When we are trying to experience the game in fucking launch week, it has been brutal, it's been awful, right? And that's just server crashes. Then there's the memory crashes.
Would you be so kind as to give me your lawyer's contact information?
It wasn't me!
Thank you.
Then there is the no HUD, where I have no fucking idea what's happening, and no information is conveyed to me. Oh
Hello,
my.
sir. How can I be of service?
What's got into you, Dad? Don't recognize
Is it
me?
just me?
You sent me
Am
a
I the
message
only
saying
one
I
on
should come in
PC,
about the
or
accident.
is everyone on PC getting
You
it?
are currently speaking.
You just crashed again? 83rd crash? I don't even know how to edit together this review. The review is simply going to be my review crashing over and over and over. Okay.
77-011-010.
And then in between the crashing and the no HUD, does anybody get no HUD, or is it just me? I feel like I'm the only one that gets the no HUD.
Godzilla is approaching the generator.
Your identity has
Generator
been
is
established.
tower.
Mr.
Godzilla
Hammond
is
Jones,
approaching the generator.
what phrase would best describe your experience of incident number 77111101096?
And all of these bugs, and Joe is crashing way constantly more. I mean, that's Joe, but still
Actually,
he's
a little
crashing
heartbroken
more.
about my
A friend
damn
of ours, a
drive,
fourth
but I'd
player
rather
who
talk to the
plays
real
Zero, has
government if I
had,
can.
he's counted them all, it's like 80 crashes. It's ridiculous. This is beyond acceptable at this point in game.
Preoccupied with the crisis that is on
No.
I simply cannot oversee everything.
No.
I've taken
No.
the liberty of transferring
Stop
the
making
settlement to your
excuses
account
for people who
to
delay the
compensate
game
for the damage
for
done.
9 months to put it out in this state.
Would you
Stop.
mind if we
This is
spoke
why
elsewhere?
games continue to come out in this state, because people like you are
Sure.
making
Let's
excuses for
stop.
people like them.
Then
It is
please
not
follow the
appropriate.
drill.
This is not how video games should have to work. There are literally companies you can hire to stress test your servers for you to make sure this shit doesn't happen. And they chose not to do that, so they don't get credit for working on the weekend because they didn't do their fucking job for the last 9 months. That is not how this works. Games come out unfinished because you people keep apologizing for them. Oh, no, it's fine. No, this big plate of spaghetti's got shit all over it, but it's fine. The spaghetti underneath still, no, stop it. That is not how this works. You as a consumer, you paid your money, you deserve that. Have some more fucking self-respect.
Amen. Okay, I don't care how nice the devs are. Look, we visited this game a year ago. We personally met the devs. You guys are freaking badass. They love the Angry Joe show. A few of them are fans. Probably not after this video, but just amazing, great Polish developers. But whatever the case is, I thought all this extra time, because it was delayed, I thought all this extra time would end up being put into the game and we get a more polished release. But no, I saw some of the same bugs that I saw when I was there, and I'm seeing even worse bugs now. Now, whether that's people can fly or Square Enix, it doesn't matter to the consumer. The consumer it has no responsibility in this, and we are advocates for the consumer. We are advocates for your game working correctly out of the door. Your game being thoroughly tested and being ready for consumption. And it's not ready for consumption. So those of you who are wondering what my opinion is on the Outriders, it is a disaster of a launch. It is extremely frustrating. And if you get past all of the server disconnects, it's the actual meat of the gameplay. Then you have to go through very awkward cutscenes, extremely fucking awkward dialogue where they fucking say fuck every fucking word. It's fucking crazy, man. Scenes where, I mean, you fade to black to jump across a bridge, and then you have another fade to black, and then you fade to black, and then you fade to black. And then you've got this exchange.
Real revolutionaries. Understand, good is never good enough.
Extremely high bullet sponge gameplay, even worse than the Division in the bullet sponge area. Makes a little more sense because it's sci-fi and not just some random dude on the side of the street that you're shooting in New York. At least it makes a little more sense here, right? But I don't know if our world tier progress is going too fast or it is. It's definitely trips. When you play in trips, the game is balanced completely different. You'll tear through content in duos. You'll be able to have good progression in solos, except for those snipers. But in trips, it is a miserable experience. You don't manually fuck around with your world tier. And it's just the awful map. So I'm basically going on a fucking angry rant with all of the problems that are in this game right now. It's not ready for release with all these extra years. I just hope that somebody can do their fucking job and get the game fixed, and somebody can tell Square Enix, spool up more servers. People are enjoying the game when they can get to the game, when they can get to the meat of the game. There's a percentage of people that are really enjoying it, and there's a percentage of people that play the game with one hand and they realize that it's like the same gameplay loop over and over. Because you heal, you're encouraged to just stand out in the open and shoot, because the more you shoot, the more you heal. There's no healing, you just heal to kill. And so, it's like there's no point in taking the Gears of War cover. It just, okay. Alright, I ran out of steam because this game has broken me down over the weekend, over its launch, and it's a damn shame. There are good elements of the game. I love the different locations. I love the variety of enemies. Those are two things. And I love the loot. And how you can customize the loot. These are good aspects of the game that are hopefully eventually going to save it. In fact, there are some impressive bosses, right? Spider boss. But what other game was there an impressive spider boss towards the beginning, and then we didn't see shit afterwards? So hopefully, as we go along, our progress is so slow. It's taking us so long to get through the game, and because of all these crashes and all these server issues and all these server kicks, and then redoing shit over and over, and then enabling my HUD, disabling my HUD, and enabling the HUD to kick the HUD on, to kick the HUD in its ass.
Currently at the exact location where I lost
It's going to take a little while for the review, guys. I was hoping to just go hard over the weekend and be ready right now. I'm nowhere near ready. So, just stay tuned. This is my angry rant. This is my experience with Outriders at launch. It has been miserable, okay? Miserable. All of us are freezing the enemies. They got no chance. Now I'm freezing and toxic. I crashed.
Yep.
We're doing too much. Okay, I'm done. I can't fucking. No, I'm done too. I'm done this. We're fucking done. This lag is killing me. Now I'm getting the same shit you were getting, Joe. The exception access violation. And it's a damn, like I said, it's a fucking shame, because I think I like the game more than the Division. And
let's talk.
I love sci-fi stuff. I love the variety of locations and all this other stuff. It's got a lot of issues.
Let's see who crushes who.
I would say if you can get it on Game Pass for $5 a month and not pay $60, do that, because I paid $60 and I'm fucking pissed. There's no Game Pass on PC, it's only on console. I don't know why that is. That's like the first instance that I know of that, but I'm fucking pissed because of it. Because I feel like I've wasted my money and I'm doing beta testing for it. That's it. That's my angry rant. I'll have the review out when we can get through it, when the servers stabilize and we can get through all of the content. And cool, and I wish things would stop releasing this so we can take a little more time, alright? I'll see you guys.
How fortunate. I've relinked to the vehicle. Thank you. A share of your fee is in your account.
No way. Sorry. I can't. No.
What the hell? That came out of nowhere.
unlike the United States, decided they were going to rip Netflix a new one. No, not Thanksgiving turkey. I'm talking about the country turkey. Come on, people, come on. See, in all seriousness, this article here, released from the Hollywood Reporter the last week, it makes me want to applaud Turkey, because unlike the United States government that huffed and puffed, Turkey said, in no uncertain terms, you can keep your woke excuses, Netflix. You know what? If we start huffing and puffing, we're going to blow your freaking house down. See, all of this, it revolves around a movie called Cuties. I'm sure you can remember that, and remember all the blowback within the United States. The reason we had inaction is because people here, they bought into buzzwords, they bought into excuses. Well, in Turkey, that stuff, it didn't fly. Now, you and I, we're going to review this article. It's not a very long one, but I think it's one that needs to be looked at. And when we're going into it, I want to say one thing about Turkey. I'm going to say bravo, Turkey. Bravo indeed. So hey there, all you fine folks, and if you would, if you like this kind of content, make sure that you're subbed to the channel. If you've been subbed to the channel, make sure you're still subbed to the channel. A lot of people have been reporting problems with that. And also, share this video far and wide. Make sure you comment. Make sure you like and feed that algorithm, because that thing, it's a hungry beast, and yeah, we can always use your help. So first things first, regarding this article here, if you sincerely do not know what the Cuties controversy is about, all you should do is go and look up the poster to it. That'll tell you everything you need to know. Now, as far as viewing audiences in the US and UK are concerned, there was a lot. I'm talking about a lot of blowback to this, but unfortunately, people, they came to responses with buzzwords and all. This is what they came to. Well, cuties, that's the it's bold, it's feminist, but it's so important and necessary to create debate and to find solutions for me as an artist, for politicians and parents. It's a real issue. They also said, you know, this here, it's not about kids on the screen. No, it's about quote-unquote people of color. It's about black and brown people being able to see themselves on the screen. Quote, it's important to see someone like you on the screen and to grow up with a lot of possibilities. So, of course, diversity and inclusion, they have to be keys to progress in cinema. Now, that had pretty much nothing to do with what we saw on the screen, right? But you know what? The wording there, it was enough to derail any response in the United States. But in places like Turkey, in places like Singapore, oh no, that doesn't work at all. As you can see in the article here. Quote, Netflix removed titles in Turkey and Singapore last year over governmental demands. Now, granted, this isn't the only reason things are removed, and a lot of times I do have a problem with censorship, you know, because again, you have artistic license. The issue with that is, though, we're not talking about taking advantage of vulnerable populations. That's what this one thing does. It either encourages that or it out and out does it. And yeah, that's the difference between that and, well, other things that we'll see here. So the streamer, they're talking about Netflix, removed 2 titles in Singapore over drug use. Again, that's their business, I suppose. I don't have any problem with that being showcased. In fact, the horrific side of that sometimes needs to be showcased. Maybe that can work as a deterrent. But in Turkey, removed an episode of Designated Survivor and the controversial French film Cuties. So the article, it actually gleans all information from this report here. This is Netflix's Environmental and Social Governance Report for 2020. You can notice this is quite the lengthy report, too, coming in at 23 pages. And the environmental factors, I mean, this is something that you don't really want to have to cover because, yeah, that's the
So let's get you back to safety.
Now, the social portion of this, starting in page 15, if you want to check it out, it's actually a tad bit more interesting.
Yeah,
Why? Well, because number one, you can understand why something like Cuties actually ends up with Netflix. You can look at the way that they broil buzzwords on, and they do. They take actual demographic data, but then they turn it into buzzwords. They say, look at what we're doing. We're so great. We're so bold. Beautiful, and you know what? That makes them susceptible to that as well. Now, as you go forward, though, you'll start finding something else. Around page 20 here, you start finding accounting metrics, internet media, and services. Now, you'll notice this portion right here. Below are the titles we removed in 2020.
4 in total since our last report, February 2020. We took these takedowns annually. So in April 2020, that's where they start off, we complied with a written demand from the Radio and Television Supreme Council, that would be the RTUK in Turkey, to remove one episode of Family Ties from the series Designated Survivor in Turkey only. So that was the first thing that Turkey wanted removed. They didn't want the whole series removed, by the way. They just wanted one episode because they considered it offensive in Turkey. Now, in May 2020, we complied with a written demand from the Singapore Infocom Media Development Authority, that's the IMDA, to remove the series Cooked with Cannabis in Singapore only. And they're going to continue with the same substance use, substance abuse, you define it however you want with that. So in August 2020, we complied with a written demand from, this is going to be the IMDA again, to remove the film Have a Good Trip, Adventures, Psychedelics in Singapore only. So again, that's the issue that Singapore has. And then, here you can see what really it needs to be applied. Oh, thank you, by the way, Turkey. September 2020, we complied with a written demand from the Radio and Television Supreme Council, the RTUK, in Turkey to remove the film Cuties in the Turkey only. Now, to put into perspective why Turkey actually deserves kudos and praise, I want to read you this part of the governance report. I only want to give you the top paragraph because I want to put into perspective what everyone else in the world, they pretty much didn't have the backbone to do. So we operate in a dynamic industry that has been in a state of constant innovation since inception. We've defined how people watch video, first through DVD by mail, then streaming service, and now as one of the world's leading entertainment services with approximately 204 million members in 190 countries. So you have 190 countries that know what was in that. They saw the blowback to it, and only one country actually had the backbone to stand up. All the Western ones that said they were going to do something, they were actually going to listen to that. They didn't do anything because they kowtowed to all of those buzzwords. Yeah, it really puts it into perspective, doesn't it? Especially when you look at that material and you look at how exploited it is. The other thing here is the idea of replaceability.
What happened?
Because they have 204
When and where? You don't know.
They don't
Right. Tonight. I'll flick you the details.
You're no longer required.
Do my best.
Text me.
And you know who doesn't sign up for that? You know who doesn't pay for it? Kids. That's right. When you get down to it, all of this stuff that they put out, the legally and ethically questionable behavior there web. You know what? Unless they're forced to do something about it, kids, they don't sign up. But the people that would be attracted to that, oh, they do. That is a disturbing idea. And you know what? Turkey shut it down, but no one else did. I'm going to end here on this because this subject, it irritates me too. But, yes, bravo, Turkey. That's what I want to say on it. Also, to help out the channel, you know how to do. There are links in the description. Check those out if you will. Yeah, I'm going to end here. Try to say something about Netflix because, I'm the founders of
And now to Minneapolis and the murder trial of former police officer Derek Chauvin set to resume tomorrow. The prosecution is expected to call critical witnesses as they lay out their case.
What's up, guys? Tim here, and today I have a new video for you guys. Today we're going to be talking about the living meme turned rapper and social media influencer known as Danielle Bregoli, aka Bad Baby. This is someone whose entire existence on the internet has been shrouded in controversy, although very recently we reported on the fact that she was using her platform to bring awareness to abuse that happens at troubled youth centers, and I think that that was a positive move. But lately she's been making waves on social media yet again for something that some view as controversial. Some people are a little bit weirdly excited about, but overall it just seems to be making news, and that is that she has broken OnlyFans by introducing her own OnlyFans account, and she's apparently been breaking a lot of records in terms of record time subscription numbers and stuff like that. So without further ado, let's get into it and let me discuss my thoughts on why I think this may be a little bit too soon to be making a decision like this for Danielle Bregoli, aka Bad Baby. But anyway, let's go ahead and let's get into it. Now, I'd like to start this off by bringing up her infamous interview on Dr. Phil, where her mom kind of brought her on the show to talk about her, mistakes that she's made as a teenager, how she's like a very disrespectful teen and stuff like that, was getting into a lot of trouble. That interview originally took place back in, I believe, it was September of 2016, when she was only 14 years old at the time. So a lot of people still remember her as this very young, underage individual. So when this announcement of the OnlyFans came out, a lot of people were wondering, like, isn't she a minor? Like, what's she doing? Creating an OnlyFans? Kind of do an update on that. She actually just recently celebrated a birthday on March 26th, and as you can see, she is now 18 years of age, which would mean she's legal. She can legally create an OnlyFans account and create this kind of content if she chooses to do so. Now, I have some thoughts about how I think it's a little bit too soon to be making a decision like this. I'll say that a little bit later in the video and kind of get my thoughts on this, but it's been a little over a week since she turned 18, and as I mentioned before, she basically broke a lot of OnlyFans records when she announced that she was going to do an OnlyFans. We're going to take a look at this article on Yahoo Entertainment penned up by Variety, and in this article they state the following. Rapper Bad Baby breaks OnlyFans record by earning $1 million in 6 hours. It took her only 6 hours to make $1 million off of this OnlyFans account. That is the new record for fastest time reaching that milestone. Obviously very insane stuff here. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at the rest of the article here. There's an update at the top. We'll come back to that. But let's go ahead and let's start here. It says Bad Baby is charging $23.99 per month for access to photos and videos on her OnlyFans page. Subscribers also are promised the ability to direct message with the user. That's typically how this service works. You can pay a subscription fee to get access to exclusive content on OnlyFans, usually in a more adult related nature in terms of the type of content they produce on there. You can have direct message access with a lot of these people who have these OnlyFans accounts, and some of them will even take tips to do custom requests for content if you want something unique and special just for you. I'm not sure if Danielle Bregoli, aka Bad Baby, is doing that for her OnlyFans account. I'm not even sure what the nature of the content is that she's producing, because I'm definitely not subscribing to this thing. But having said that, that's typically the kind of stuff that people produce on this platform. A post late Thursday on her Instagram account included a pic that apparently showed her total haul from OnlyFans at just over $1 million, including basically over $700,000 from subscriptions, $200,000 from DM payments, and $5,000, over $5,000 in tips. Not bad for 6 hours, she wrote. We broke the fuck out of that OnlyFans record. Crazier than you think, DM me, the rapper says in her OnlyFans bio. I am on here every night responding. So apparently she's very active on the platform already. A spokesman for OnlyFans confirmed to Variety that the rapper did earn more than $1 million in 6 hours. The previous OnlyFans record was Bella Thorne, who garnered more than $1 million in her first 24 hours on the platform in August. However, the actor, model, influencer was met with a backlash among sex workers who rely on income from OnlyFans because the site had reduced the maximum limit creators can charge for exclusive content from $200 to $50 after Thorne had charged $200 for a 3-pack of non-exclusive photos. Thorne apologized to the sex worker community and said she was working with OnlyFans to remedy the situation. Some of you guys may remember we did report on that particular OnlyFans related situation here on this channel, so you guys can go back and take a look at that video if you want to know more about that. Bad Baby, real name Danielle Bregoli, just turned 18 on March 26th. From now, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want, she wrote in the caption on an Instagram post Wednesday. In 2017, Bad Baby became the youngest female rapper ever to hit the Billboard Hot 100 chart with her debut single, These Hoes. The artist, who is signed with Atlantic Records, also was the youngest artist in the last decade to go platinum with her 2018 hit Gucci Flip Flops featuring Lil Yachty. Her 2017 single High Bitch also has been certified platinum. OnlyFans launched in 2016 as a way for social influencers to directly monetize their content, and the UK-based site soon gained a reputation for posting X-rated material. 2 years ago, the New York Times called it the paywall of porn. Other celebs and influencers who have launched their OnlyFans pages, including Cardi B, Jordan Woods, Black China, Trey Songz, Amber Rose, and Tana Mongeau. So there's a lot of people who are massive social media influencers who use this platform to monetize adult-rated content. We even see that Alinity recently announced that she was doing her own OnlyFans. And, there you go. There's a lot of people who use this platform to monetize their own content. OnlyFans creators receive 80% of the revenue on their earnings, including subscriptions, paid messages, and tips. Currently, the maximum single tip amount is $100 for new users and $200 for users who have been on the platform for more than 4 months. Users may spend up to $500 per day on the platform, while those who have been on the platform for a long time in good standing have a higher limit, according to the OnlyFans FAQ. So that's basically going over the announcement of her OnlyFans, the fact that she's making some big money on the platform already. Now, I want to get into some of the responses to the announcement of the OnlyFans, because this is honestly where things get a little bit weird and concerning for me. And again, I do have some thoughts on how she may have been too quick to make this decision, but I'll save those towards the end. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at some of these responses. So obviously she announced it over on Twitter. Initially, people thought it was an April Fool's joke because she announced it on April 1st, but let's take a look at some of the very odd responses to this thing. We have people like this person, Nicola Moeller, who says it's been 5 long years, as if they've been waiting all that time for her to create an OnlyFans account or do adult-rated content. I don't know about you guys, but I found that to be extremely weird. Moving on to another example, we have this person here. I've been waiting on this one. How long have you been waiting on someone who started their career as a minor to do adult-rated content? Like, I don't know about you guys, but I just find that really odd. Moving on, we have this one here. I got my lotion and my gloves ready, girl. And if you look at the dude's profile picture, it looks like he's quite the older guy. So it's a little bit, I don't know. I find this all very strange on so many levels. Taking a look at this next one here. Dang, all grown up with a drooling emoji. Yeah, that's not awkward. That's not awkward at all. Why would somebody post this kind of stuff on social media? That's my thing. Like, why would you post yourself thirsting after someone who literally just turned 18 years old? I don't know. That's kind of messed up in my mind. And the final one I want to show you guys, another example of somebody saying they've been waiting 5 long years for this exact moment. I don't know. I look at grown men posting stuff like this in response to a girl who literally just turned 18 years of age, and it just kind of rubs me the wrong way. Maybe I'm being a little bit of a prude here or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but just something about this just kind of rubs me the wrong way, and it just feels so weird. So to kind of wrap up my thoughts on this video, I did say that I would express my concerns that maybe she jumped into this decision a little bit too soon. Look, I'm all in favor of sex workers doing whatever they want to do to get that bag. And we live in a climate now where sex work isn't as frowned upon as it used to be, because it used to be something that was very frowned upon, but it seems like it's more socially acceptable nowadays than ever. So I don't have a problem with people doing sex work or creating provocative adult content for an audience that are willing to consume that kind of content. I have no issue with that whatsoever. What I do find a little bit weird about this, though, is, like I said, it's only a little over a week since she's turned 18, and she is diving headfirst into this industry. And we've seen so many situations where big names in the adult entertainment industry later come forward in life, and they talk about some of the struggles they have to deal with for getting involved in this type of content, some of the trauma they've suffered for getting involved in this type of content, a lot of the regret that they deal with and stuff like that. And looking at some of these comments from grown-ass men who are literally thirsting over this girl, who literally just turned 18 years old. Granted, she's legal, and again, if she wants to make this decision, that's totally up to her. But I honestly feel like she probably should have waited a little bit longer before making such a serious decision? She just turned 18 and she's already diving into the adult-rated content industry. I just think it's too soon to be diving into something like this. I think she probably should have took a little bit more time to think this through before she decided to get into it. But ultimately, hey, you know what? It's her decision. She's an adult now. She wants to make this choice. That's totally up to her. I just think she probably should have took a little bit more time before deciding to do content like this, because who knows, maybe later down the line, she might regret this and she might, think a little bit differently of this decision later down the line. But at the end of the day, those are just my opinions. What do you guys think about this whole situation? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I always like to hear what you guys have to say. But anyway, guys, this is Tipster here. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.
If you sleep on your side, I bet you hate your pillow, and this is why. They might be as fluffy as a cloud.
The most recent, good. We shouldn't readily confront their own demons and hubris by pushing them to truly embody heroism. This fight also asks the question, can we become God? I say God here, as this is what the Pope with his legion of devout followers and powerful weapon truly believes he has attained. But in asking if humans can transcend the divine, this also includes nature, law, the natural order of this isekai world, as well as the notion that prophecy can be ignored and one can assume the position of the four cardinal heroes. The Pope or High Priest, leader of the Church of the Three Heroes, believes exactly this when he calls out the cardinal heroes. Through this absolute savage moment of Naofumi roasting everyone, we see how these spear, sword, and bow have not done their duty and have actually brought disaster, disease, and injustice to the world. By the way, this is one example of where Naofumi was way more savage in the anime than he was in the manga, as it's actually the Pope that does most of the chastising here. I encourage you guys to check out the manga because it paints characters in a different light. I find that Naofumi is harsher and a bit more savage, which I enjoy. To the church leader, if the cardinal heroes are too busy swaddling and neglecting their duties, then he can lead his people to fight the waves. We don't need the heroes. We can be the heroes. We can be prophecy. We can be God. Although the Pope is actually leading a rebellion against the kingdom and the heroes in God's name, and justifying his violence as simply purifying evil like the shield demon, he's got a valid point. If you want a deep dive into the Church of the Three Heroes and the philosophy behind cults, check out this video here. But the important thing to note is that the heroes are not acting properly, and he's offering a solution. Do we need heroes? Especially if they're not doing their job. I've always questioned this aspect of the isekai world that the Rising of the Shield Hero presents. The people know of the waves. It has been a reoccurring phenomenon for centuries, and thanks to Colonial Queen Victoria, we know the heroes have fought with each other in the past. We even know that the Shield Hero has been the one mistreated in the past. So given all this, why have the people relied on the heroes so much? Why not just fight for themselves? As One Punch Man says, why not get strong? The answer, as one would assume, is the legendary weapons and the absolute power they afford the heroes have always been the best and really only solution to the waves. But now that the Pope and his followers are powerful, the notion that people no longer need to rely on heroes so much as they need to fend for themselves and have strong adventurers or groups like the Church is rather apparent. The notion that the prophecy of the four cardinal heroes, which has been the moral bedrock of the society for centuries, begins to crumble when the heroes are questioned and other options become available. Perhaps we can understand this degradation of prophecy and moral foundation in Shield Hero as well as the concept of assuming the divine, not by asking, can we become God or heroes, but rather, how do we replace them? German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche posed this exact question when he uttered some of the most famous, yet misunderstood words. God is dead. God remains dead, and we have killed him. How shall we comfort ourselves, the murderers of all murderers? Is not the greatness of this deed too great for us? Must we ourselves not become gods simply to appear worthy of it? After scientific and technological innovation enlightened humanity to the fact that we are not at the center of the universe, and truth doesn't necessarily stem from a higher power, it could stem from a YouTube channel though. The moral foundation of Western society, along with people's senses of meaning or purpose, was swiftly challenged. Contrary to what your fedora-tipping neck-bearded friend might say, Nietzsche wasn't shouting this from the rooftops and happily exclaiming God is dead. He was seriously concerned about the death of the divine. He was asking, how do we go on as a society and race without this moral foundation? It's a problem that many could argue due to the events of the last century still hasn't fully been solved. But I mean, maybe if the Pope is powerful and heroic, we might be able to ditch the cardinal heroes, right? Well, if he was actually powerful. Philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche posed this exact question when he uttered some of the most famous, yet misunderstood words. God is dead. God remains dead, and we have killed him. How shall we comfort ourselves, the murderers of all murderers? Is not the greatness of this deed too great for us? Must we ourselves not become gods simply to appear worthy of it? After scientific and technological innovation enlightened humanity to the fact that we are not at the center of the universe, and truth doesn't necessarily stem from a higher power, it could stem from a YouTube channel though. The moral foundation of Western society, along with people's senses of meaning or purpose, was swiftly challenged. Contrary to what your fedora-tipping neck-bearded friend might say, Nietzsche wasn't shouting this from the rooftops and happily exclaiming God is dead. He was seriously concerned about the death of the divine. He was asking, how do we go on as a society and race without this moral foundation? It's a problem that many could argue due to the events of the last century still hasn't fully been solved. But I mean, maybe if the Pope is powerful and heroic, we might be able to ditch the cardinal heroes, right? Well, if he was actually powerful and heroic. Unlike our friend Nietzsche, the Pope is exclaiming this. The heroes are dead, and I have killed them. Even calling Nafume and the others living corpses, as he and the church are offering this alternative way to humanity. But much like how vain desires of wealth, fame, and power can't replace meaning and purpose, the church and its followers have not replaced anyone, but have merely become replica heroes. The Pope even uses a fake legendary weapon with power derived from sacrifice, which, if you ask me, that's really a cheat code in this world. With the assumption of this role justifying it with God, the Pope seeks to be worshipped as God and have all the glory without any of the sacrifice, morality, and meaning that a hero brings to the world. But that's not what true heroism is. Heroes must learn their places one of duty and not prestige or accolades. In seeing a fake hero, and you know, having Nafume brilliantly called the three heroes out on their BS, Ren, Itsuki, and Moriyasu realize that they must also strive to embody a hero and live in reality, not a game with simple boss fights and endless rewards. Nafume and crew have been on the road leveling up, gaining real experience, and this combined with Nafume conquering his own personal struggles, which were mostly caused by the three dunces and the church in the first place, make him a true hero. In the Pope and the church trying to resew the moral fabric of society, they leave their stitches incomplete by forgetting to intertwine the all-important thread of meaning. Being a hero means sacrificing oneself and embracing your mission in the world, not giving followers a false sense of security and proclaiming you are God. Unlike the three idiots in the Pope, Nafume finds meaning through embracing his mission as a hero and not by seeking rewards, even if this means embracing the dark side to save people. Nietzsche wondered, how do we replace God, or in this case, heroes, and there is no way to replace them, because without the prophecy or the cardinal save the
fucking
world.
screwed!
There has never been a time when the four heroes were not fighting the waves, when the prophecy wasn't guiding Powermark and the other nations against calamity. Without these brave warriors, the world is certainly in trouble, and just like Nietzsche said, society certainly falls into disaster without this belief. This isn't to say that the prophecy has been perfect. Just as our own religious institutions are sometimes twisted and corrupted, the four cardinal heroes are no exception. Corruption, infighting, and perhaps even false accusations driving out the shield hero have happened countless times before, and have divided the heroes, shaking society's belief and putting the world in danger. But just because something is flawed doesn't mean we should readily abandon it. Also, most of the corruption and doubt cast on the cardinal heroes and moral foundation of this isekai society is a direct result of the church's lies and schemes of one evil Princess Biatch. I never get tired of saying that. The lesson here is that, despite our human flaws, our moral foundation is still a very important bedrock to build society upon. And even though some of its truths may be challenged and even corrupted, it still has a lot of good. We shouldn't readily abandon it, because if we do, humanity is left crumbling in its search for meaning. While the heroes may succumb to human distortion, and we'd all love to replace some of them, the four cardinal heroes are the true heroes. The righteous always emerge victorious over the corrupt. Now, Fumi isn't the shield demon, he's the Tate no savior. And through this, society preserves its meaning. And if you don't like this prophecy or moral foundation, you'll just have to deal with it. As always, thanks for watching. Comment below. Can anyone truly replace the heroes? And what do you think about Best Royal Wagon? If you'd like to get on her good side, or want to see more Rising of the Shield Hero content, consider joining my adventure.
Do you know that the average adult has 5 to 20 pounds of toxic poop in their body at any given moment? Seems crazy, right? All that poop just sitting there, rotting away inside their intestines and colon. Is it any wonder that colon disease...
It's summertime. Get that beach body ready for some fun in the sun, and to kick some monster booty. To be perfectly honest, Raftalia in a swimsuit is all I need in my life right now. Can we just end season 1 right here? What's up? It's Truth Hero and Justice. Sweet justice has been served. We can all rest now. The only waves we have to concern ourselves with are from the ocean. Well, for now. So let's all relax and explore Calmira Archipelago together. And as always, land of spoilers ho! The next stop for our heroes is the Calmira Island or Archipelago, which every 10 years activates a phenomena giving boosted experience for defeating enemies, and where adventurers flock to reap these rewards. Aha, Calmira, where you can kill the protagonist from That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, just for some experience points. That's right, Shield Hero best isekai. Nah, Philo is right. Killing simple slime monsters isn't really a challenge. And what we'll be discussing in relation to Calmira is a lot more serious than simple level-ups and hashtag beach vibes. It's summertime. Get that beach body ready for some fun in the sun, and to kick some monster booty. To be perfectly honest, Raftalia in a swimsuit is all I need in my life right now. Can we just end season 1 right here? What's up? It's Truth Hero and Justice. Sweet justice has been served. We can all rest now. The only waves we have to concern ourselves with are from the ocean. Well, for now. So let's all relax and explore Calmira Archipelago together. And as always, land of spoilers ho! The next stop for our heroes is the Calmira Island or Archipelago, which every 10 years activates a phenomena giving boosted experience for defeating enemies, and where adventurers flock to reap these rewards. Aha, Calmira, where you can kill the protagonist from That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, just for some experience points. That's right, Shield Hero best isekai. Nah, Philo is right. Killing simple slime monsters isn't really a challenge. And what we'll be discussing in relation to Calmira is a lot more serious than simple level-ups and hashtag beach vibes. Besides, level ain't everything. If you were wondering, gee, will the heroes ever cooperate with Naofumi and put aside their pride, arrogance, and self-righteousness? The answer is no. and this trip to Kalmyra serves as a foreshadowing into each of the three idiot heroes' character vices and their fates later on in the series. On this expedition to grind levels, it's time to separate the men from the boys. And Strong Lemon, of course. But even before the three dimwits arrive at the isle, they all get seasick. Some heroes. It's no wonder later that Larkberg doesn't believe they are actually the Cardinal heroes. Who would? Side note, I will be doing a separate video on both Larkberg and Rishia, as well as the philosophy behind their characters. Stay tuned. Let's start with all three of them collectively. Despite meeting with the Queen and getting royally admonished, they still believe this is all just a game. There is simply no way Naofumi unlocked the Rage Shield and Curse series without cheating. Their philosophy on always having a simple explanation like in a video game stays the same when Naofumi unlocks a stat boost by reading and translating a stone tablet. When pressed, Naofumi honestly answers, "I studied. I actually took the time to read paper pages. Maybe you should too." But no, why would we ever bother to learn this isekai world's foreign languages? There's gotta be an easier way. This arrogance in seeking strength speaks to a major blind spot that the three idiot heroes have, which is putting too much value on level and standard video game-esque advancements made with their weapons. They don't value real field experience, and as such, fail continuously. While Naofumi might be an absolute noob when it comes to enemy drops, weapon rarity, and crafting, sometimes there's more to games and real life than just what's in the manual. Ren's Pride. Speaking of games, the player who loves to always go it alone RPG style is Ren Amaki, and his knowledge of games yet lack of street smarts really shows in these episodes. Before coming to Kalmyra, he leaves without his party, and Naofumi learns that Ren's party members actually train separately from him. On the island, things are no different. Ren is so prideful that he can't admit to the fact that he can't swim, and would rather just not participate in his duty as a hero than to conquer his fear of water. Luckily, Motoyasu and Itsuki actually do something useful for once, and toss Sword Boy into the ocean, making Ren come around to the idea of wearing penguin diving gear while swimming. Lame. If only Ren had set aside his pride in the future, as later he believes he is powerful enough to go it alone, and this leads his entire party into disaster, with Ren unlocking 2 Curse series because he can't admit he wasn't strong enough by himself. Motoyasu's ignorance. Surprisingly, Motoyasu is actually pretty normal and level-headed in this island arc. Besides displaying ignorance like the rest of the idiots at the meeting and with the stone tablet, he really doesn't do anything too dumb on Kalmyra. He's, of course, off chasing girls in the city market, but, what else is new? Motoyasu will have to learn how to control his lust, as this will come back to bite and curse him in the end. Also, lesser-known fact, Motoyasu actually arrived in this isekai world because he was killed over jealousy surrounding a girl. And yet he keeps on flirting. Motoyasu's biggest flaw is his ignorance. He doesn't learn from his mistakes and doesn't think for himself, doesn't look at things objectively, even when the evidence is painfully obvious. Itsuki's self-righteousness. Oh, I hate this little social justice warrior so much. The last idiot has the most foreshadowing here, in his self-righteousness and belief that he is the most just man. Mauled rather enthusiastically explains that Itsuki's party has a hierarchy. Cult vibes of who is most useful to the illustrious bow hero. This places Itsuki-sama at the top as the king of heroics and justice. Relax, Mauled. Your boyfriend ain't that special. Also, this self-righteous belief is what leads to Risha being at the bottom of the hierarchy and wanting to later kill herself for losing Itsuki's favor. Again, I'll be doing a separate video on this and the philosophy surrounding Itsuki and Rishia's relationship. Blinded by this sense of justice and righteousness, Itsuki believes he's truly God's gift to the world, and that people should worship him for this sense of justice, and for just being a part of the hero, that they should almost be indebted to him because he saved their lives. Kind of like how Rishia is. Seriously, what anime am I watching? Shield Hero or Death Note? Believing he is so just and righteous as a hero, and that everyone can't wait to be saved by him, he violated the world code on Kalmyra. Not everyone wants to be helped, especially adventurers intentionally seeking out danger to improve their skills. But hey, Fumi having to clean up after Itsuki's mess? Again, what else is new? This unbridled self-righteousness eventually leads Itsuki to being betrayed by Mauld and Hein, Bitchy, and him not only becoming more egotistical, but also facing a full-scale rebellion from the people he exploited. On Kalmyra, you truly reap what you sow. Ultimately, the Sword, Spear, and Bow all suffer from some degree of pride, ignorance, and self-righteousness. But by not realizing their initial dispositions, these small cases of vice on Kalmyra are later engorged for the three idiot heroes. What can I say? Foreshadowing. And I can't wait to cover all the curse series when they happen. But until then, you can catch me catching rays. And some fish. So what did we learn on this trip? Well, don't let your pride get in the way. Read a book for once. And whatever you do, don't be this guy. You're fucking my tail! Thank you, Rhetorical Hero Travelers. Who had to be three idiot heroes who'd be most screwed for the future? But more importantly, who's best bikini girl? Comment below. And punch your ticket for more adventure by subscribing. And as always, keep it tuned here for more Rising of the Shield Hero content.
Shopping is the place you find whatever you're looking for. Like happy opportunities for any movie restaurant. You can find the best value, good reviews, even see what the hell they're having. Your best shopping starts with food.
One of my favorite moments from Rising of the Shield Hero is when Naofumi sees what he believes to be Philo's death and absolutely loses his shit, going into the Curse series and succumbing to his deepest hatred and wrath. This moment happens just as Naofumi is getting used to living in another world and finally understanding how to make it in this alternate realm, and he is for once comfortable. Naofumi questions if this world will keep taking everything from him, and even though Philo turns out to be just fine, Raphtalia is badly hurt. Naofumi realizes that this world isn't just some nightmare he's been thrown into. It's a place where he can't take refuge in the escape it offers, and one that he ultimately, after his mission is over, cannot remain in. While any form of entertainment certainly has the ability to let us slip away for a few hours until we must return to our ordinary lives, anime takes this form of virtual anesthesia to a whole new level with the isekai genre. The rationale behind escapism is to forget everyday troubles, to temporarily avoid the boring, mundane, and even unpleasant truths of reality, and even help us fantasize ourselves as more important and better off than we actually are. The usual escapist is a type of daydreamer that imagines themselves in a more perfect utopia, or other world entirely. They are heroes, achieve everything, have all the power, slay the dragon, and get the girl. Multiple girls. They are, from every angle and focal point, the MVP. They are the sun, with everything and everyone else revolving around their brilliance. Yet when the sun finally does poke through their windows, waking them up, reminding this dreamer of their true place in the universe, they realize they have achieved absolutely nothing in the heroic fantasy. All their inaction has led to is more wasted time and a prolonged, painful confrontation with reality. And it's this dichotomy of pleasant fantasy and painful reality which escapism presents that makes Naofumi such an interesting character in Rising of the Shield Hero. Naofumi, living in an otaku lifestyle, wants to avoid the daily struggles of a college student, but is instead thrust into a world where the problems of waking up early for class seem rather attractive compared to his new situation of being branded a rapist criminal. In fact, save for his first encounter with Malty, bitch, Naofumi has never offered any of the illusionary pleasures from escaping into another world, and instead has nothing but suffering once he arrives in Belrobar. While no one would choose to watch a dull movie or a form of entertainment that actually made us suffer, Naofumi doesn't have a choice, as the only way to be sent back home is for new heroes to be summoned, and in order for this to happen, Naofumi must either die or defeat the waves of calamity. All that's left to do now is stand up, solve problems since no one helps him in the traditional way. Escapism and daydreaming our time away temporarily minimizes the struggle which is necessary for development. And when we go without this struggle and turn to fantasy, we are stunted as humans. In reality, we must all forget our distractions and find crafty solutions to everything life throws our way. Struggle is good. Perhaps the best element of Nafumi's character in being summoned to another world is the lesson he provides not only to us, but also himself about escapism. He can't make a life out of getting lost in light novels and being a shut-in otaku. Life isn't a fun fantasy. Soon, Nafumi will graduate college, and unless he somehow has a YouTube channel dedicated to anime, he needs to go out into the real world and make something of himself. You just had to make it personal again, Truth Hero. Every time. The Rising of the Shield Hero might have one of the best setups to an isekai story since God threw a twister down to Kansas and whisked Dorothy off to the magical world of Oz. Sure, a book absorbing you as the hero of prophecy isn't so creative, but being thrust into a world where you are suddenly a criminal and outcast makes for a wonderful commentary on the notions of thinking one can simply escape their problems or substitute them with fantasy. Like Naofumi, we must all take that hard-to-swallow red pill. But the Shield Hero presents something even deeper than just the concept of escapism. Besides being an isekai anime inside the already known escapist entertainment that is anime itself, the fantasy world Naofumi is thrown into is modeled after MMORPG and MOBA games, with each cardinal hero having a party comprised of different classes of warriors who accompany them. Actually, if we really wanted to go deep, the very YouTube video you are watching right now serves as a form of entertainment and escapism. It'd be like 4 layers of ignoring reality. So, good luck with your homework. Video games are a widely popular method of escapism, and the other heroes, particularly Ren, believe this is all just a game, a pleasant retreat and vacation from reality back in Japan. After they level up, unlock cool abilities, and beat the final boss, they'll just return home. Ren, in seeing everything as a game, even slays a dragon and just expects the corpse will disappear. But it doesn't despawn from the map, and actually leads to a village being afflicted by a plague. But life is dangerous when we ignore reality, and Ren will soon find out the cost of treating everything like it's a game that has no consequences. He gets this reality check when his ignorance leads all his companions to be slain in battle, and unfortunately, unlike the games he played back in Japan, his friends can't just respawn if they lose all their HP. In the beginning, Naofumi is actually the only one of the 4 that didn't play these games a whole lot, and can't believe how truly experienced the others are. Besides offering a funny critique of how support classes and their players are usually hated and take the blame for everything when their teams lose, the video game element of Rising of the Shield Hero also questions common methods we use to escape reality, and how these blind us from the real world. Naofumi's ignorance about these games actually has a silver lining. It gives him the awareness to realize that this world isn't just some vacation where you can get paid, have scrumptious food, and all the attention of the ladies, just for beating a few measly waves of monsters. Naofumi, not only realizing the illusion of escapism, but also due to his constant suffering, wants to leave this world. This is why on multiple occasions throughout his journey, he has distanced himself from the people of Melromark, even rejecting the title of savior he received after healing people. However, like most bad habits, escapism is a tough one to break. It's truly hard to improve ourselves, and it will be very hard for Naofumi to leave this world. His situation may even get better, and he may actually finally achieve greatness. He is a literal hero after all, and in this world, being a hero isn't fantasy. It's Naofumi's duty and reality. Besides leaving the illusion of actually being a hero for the college life of textbooks, Naofumi now has Raphtalia and Philo, and by them, a purpose. It's one thing to leave a position of glory. Even the best athletes eventually retire, but Naofumi himself said he may just find romance in this world, something he didn't have back home in Japan. And as we know, love can make you do some crazy things. Staying in this fantasy world for the possibility of romance is made even harder when Naofumi realizes Raphtalia would miss him. She's worried the only person that has ever cared for her will suddenly vanish out of her life, and Naofumi definitely feels guilt over this possibility. Ultimately, Naofumi's character offers an honest look at how hard it truly is to leave a pleasant fantasy to confront our reality. but a reality that, unlike our escapist daydreams, is the truth. As always, thanks for watching. Let me know down below in the comments, how will Naofumi escape this escapism and return to reality? And after his mission is over, how will he put down the light novels and be somebody in Japan? Also, if you were Naofumi, which pill would you take? Red is truth, hero, but blue is best girl. Choose wisely. And keep it tuned to Truth Hero for more Rising of the Shield Hero content.
Hmm. No.
Davy, I have some new work for you. A certain item needs to be salvaged from the landfill before some gonks chop it to pieces. I've attached some more details for you. I can't say that went exactly how I would have liked, but at least Red Joe has something to train with, and that's what matters. Contract closed.